and gentlemen, TNA Sacrifice continues with this one fall contest. Introducing first, representing the main event Mafia, from Detroit, Michigan, Big Sexy Kevin Nash.
You don't get a nickname like Big Sexy without being confident, without being cocky. But you think Kevin Nash has any idea what he got himself into when he signed on the dotted line for a one-on-one match against the Nation of Violence?
I'll tell you what, I'm very concerned about my good friend Kevin Nash, but one thing I've got to say, when you look at Kevin, look at that physique, look at that build. You can tell that he has been in the gym, he's been working out, he's been absolutely getting himself prepared. He knows he's going to take some violence. He knows he's going to handle some pain.
His opponent from the Nation of Violence, the Samoan Submission Machine, Samoa Joe.
Since suffering that injury at the hands of the main event Mafia that sidelined him for well over a month, Samoa Joe has come back a completely different man, a completely different individual. You seem to have all the answers as we see Joe come down with that black towel covering his head. We have seen him in the past month or two having some kind of communication with a mystery advisor.
Well, somebody's giving him some advice and telling him how he needs to go about this, because Joe, I think, is so emotional and he's so wrapped up in this anger and this violence that someone's got to give him some direction. And the bottom line is this: whoever it is, whoever's telling him what to do, he's been unstoppable ever since. And you got to admit, and don't get me wrong, I'm impressed with Samoa Joe. I've become a fan of Samoa Joe just because he's just so intriguing when he comes out here and destroys everybody. But the bottom line is somebody has got some kind of control over him, and they've got a master plan.
Could agree with you, unstoppable, but when you compare the career of Samoa Joe and you look back just a couple of years ago, he was unstoppable when he first came in to TNA, but now he's unstoppable in a totally different manner and a much more violent manner than before.
Yeah, I think he was somebody that lost his edge, and he had to find it, and by finding it, he had to take it to a whole nother level. The old Samoa Joe was never going to be the same. Now, you got to be impressed here with Big Sexy, that experience. The thing that Joe's always done is he's always taken you from the beginning. Here lately, he's come out from the onslaught. Look how Kevin Nash has neutralized the Nation of Violence this early on. And I mentioned it. I mean, you and I were even talking about earlier when we saw Kevin walking through today, how great a shape this guy's in and how serious he's taking this matchup.
And it was imperative for him, if he was going to survive against Samoa Joe, to come out with some kind of a game plan, and that strategy's pretty obvious here as he tries to take Joe up in that jackknife, and then Joe rolls through, and Joe applies the ankle lock.
I'll tell you what, this is where Joe shows you how good he is, how incredible in that ring he is. He's not just about coming out there throwing the kicks and the punches and knocking you down. He's a Samoan Submission Machine. He'll grab any part of your body, twist it the direction he wants to twist it, and he'll make you tap out.
Joe got that leg scissored, and Nash doesn't hurt to be 7 feet tall either when you're reaching for those ring ropes, and that's a bonus. That's an advantage for Nash in this match as he gets the rope break, and Joe right back on him again. The opening minute flurry of Kevin Nash has been turned right around, and we talked about the main event Mafia putting Joe on the disabled list. It's almost like they pushed him over the ledge, because from that point forward, he has been this unstoppable individual, the Nation of Violence, the Nation of One, and he unleashes the offense in the corner, and that sends Nash out to the floor.
Well, you think about the baseball bat to the back, you think about the hand in the chair, and I mean, we didn't see Joe for months. I mean, they took him completely out of commission. And it was a situation that the main event Mafia had to do what they had to do at that time. I mean, that was a decision that they made collectively, and they did it. This is just one of those times where sometimes you reap what you sow. And like I said, I'm so conflicted in this matchup, but it's one of those things where Kevin Nash knew that this day was going to come, and he never shied from it, never ran from it. You got to give him credit for that. He's come out with a game plan, and he's going to take whatever Joe's got, and you never know, he may have more for him here at the end, and that's what you got to do.
Then think back to the long-term history between these two, not just that situation between the main event Mafia and Samoa Joe when they injured him, but think back to that long time period when Kevin Nash was a teacher. He was a mentor to Samoa Joe.
Well, he was. I mean, it was one of those things that started with an insult where Samoa Joe just insulted the best friend of Kevin Nash, and then Kevin Nash was willing to forgive, able to forgive. He taught him, he trained him, but he had to train Joe the ultimate lesson, and that is don't trust anybody in this business. Oh, man, you can just feel the vibration.
With the steel chair by Nash, Joe avoids it. Now, Joe takes the steel chair to wicked blow, and Nash really caught that one flush on the back and on the side of the arm, and there goes Nash head first right into the steel steps.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's one of those situations there where if you miss, he was right by that ring post, and the vibration, the pain that chair can cause in your hands, it makes them go numb, and you lose the feeling. Joe able to grab that chair right back, hit it, and then take the head and slam it down in the steel steps, and it was real close to the corner there of the steps when he hit him.
What an intimidating look by Samoa Joe towards the referee, Andrew Thomason. Nash, as you can see, Kevin Nash, his forehead has been busted wide open. The repeated punches by Joe, one shot after the other to the top of the head, and Nash is dazed.
Did you see his eyes? They just rolled in the back of his head, and Samoa Joe, you could just see where his pressure point is now. It's that blood on the forehead. You saw the flat fist, and you saw the elbows coming down. I mean, he can smell the blood now, and this is bad for Nash. You got to wonder what he's got left in his situation, but one thing he does have is 20-something years of experience, and he showed it right there.
He sure did. Perfect timing by Nash, because as Joe rolled in, he left his eyes, left his face exposed. Nash poked it in the eyes, and now trying to clear his vision. He's on the receiving end, a couple of shots in the corner. Sent across, clothesline missed, and Joe caught Nash with a big kick, lethal kick to the back of the head. Now he's going to try and go for the coquina clutch, but it's so difficult to use that rear naked choke because of the height of Kevin Nash. It's almost as if it takes away one of those weapons from Samoa Joe. He's going to have to take Nash, beat him down to the point where he's closer down on the mat so that he can apply that rear naked choke with leverage.
You got it. That's actually a great observation of how that was so hard for Joe to get it wrapped around and pull him down. But you think about it, Kevin Nash has been in so many wars and so many years, and he knows how to turn it around. He knows you're going to have to take the punishment. And even though something might stun you, even though something might knock you out momentarily, when you come to, you got to go through. But there was a situation where he just doesn't have the speed. He can't rely on youth to bring in that speed, and Joe able to come back and go right after that head where you see the blood streaming down. Oh, how about Nash? Impressive. You can see Joe even, I think.
A reflex move that time by Kevin Nash at the point where Samoa Joe thought that he had him, the blood flowing from his head. He caught him with that big kick off the middle ropes, and I think Joe surprised as well that there's still fight left in Nash, even though the blood is now flowing down from the forehead, and it's flowing down near the eyes of Nash, and potentially here could be a problem in terms of Nash's vision.
Yeah, he's brought him down to the right size, too. I mean, that look that Joe had when he was nodding his head, it was almost like, okay, if that's the way it's going to be, that's the way it's going to be, and maybe there was a little respect there. Again, Nash using those long arms and that body length to get to the ropes, and I'll tell you what, good move there, because Andrew Thomas wasn't breaking the hold, and that was a situation where Nash had to get loose, because he had his hands on the ropes, and he had to use that low blow, but look at the head of Nash. He's losing a lot of blood.
It's also the experience factor of Nash, again, to use a cheap move like that, but in essence, to turn it in his favor. Side slam on Joe. Here we go, 2 and no.
Well, that cut looks vicious on his head. You can see, though, Nash not letting it bother him. He just wipes the blood out of his eyes, wipes it out of the hair, and moves it away from him. Turns around, and look at this. Look at that look of determination.
It's just a totally different situation between both Nash and Joe when it comes to backup. Nash has got all of his allies in the main event Mafia. Samoa Joe, no associates at all, especially after that blow-up with AJ Styles on Impact this week.
Oh, he's an island. There's no doubt about it. He's his own man. He doesn't take no help from anybody. He doesn't want no help from anybody other than the advisor that he has.
Senton backsplash by Joe, but still not able to put Nash away.
You can see the nod again. It's almost like a respect move as you see the blood, though, really getting into the eyes. You saw Joe make the motion, the throat slash, and then...
This is the perfect position for this rear naked choke. The coquina clutch here. Nash reaching out for the ropes again, and as he does, Joe's going to try and pull him back out
He
towards
does.
the middle
He
of the
did.
ring. Exactly what he did, and he also applies the body scissors
did.
at the same time. Not exactly sure that he has that rear naked choke, since he does have it. And Nash taps out.
Here is your winner, the Samoan Submission Machine, Samoa Joe!
Pulled him right back to the middle of the ring and applied the pressure of the Kakita clutch. There's a reason that he's called the Samoan Submission Machine, and we witnessed it right there as Nash taps out.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's one of those where the experience tells you you got to live to fight another day. Joe got him pulled right to the center, and he knew he didn't have the situation in hand.
And he pie faces the referee, pushes him away.
Yeah, this is the part of Joe that you just can't figure out.
He's not done. He's not done yet with Nash, and Nash can't fight back. Totally defenseless here, while Joe has hit him repeatedly times with that elbow.
Well, Nash is just trying to catch his breath. Nash realizes that he's lost. He realizes Joe won.
Oh,
In his mind, it should be over. And look at Joe. He just wants more. That's just the thing. He's bloodthirsty. It's unreal. He's bloodthirsty and wants more.
Punch the referee, totally intimidates the security force that bails out, and he's right back on Nash with more. And it's almost as if that blood that's flowing from Nash's head is just driving him to continue this nation of violence.
Good Lord, man. Someone get in there and stop this wild beast. I mean, it's done. Like I said, I'm impressed with Joe, but enough's enough. I think Joe realizes it.
Wow, the ultimate in dishonor right there, and disrespect from Samoa Joe, spitting on the prone, laid-out body of Kevin Nash.
Well, he proved his point tonight, and that point is that he was going to get his revenge on Kevin Nash for what Kevin Nash did to him, someone that he took into his confidence and someone that he felt betrayed him in the end. The bottom line is he's just unstoppable right now, Mike.
It's a big Papa Pump, isn't it?
Yeah, he's in there to see if Kevin's okay, and you can see Kevin's. And look at Kevin Nash. He's in bad shape.
He is a bloody mess. Scott Steiner, the Main Event Mafia, in to check on the condition of his Mafia mate.